Hi, in this series I'll be investigating the man behind the spirit that's been active in my flat. So pause the video, go make yourself a cup of tea and settle. We'll be finding out what happened and how he passed away. I'll be trying to capture footage of any activity and ultimately trying to release his spirit so he can rest in peace. And so here's how it happened. I moved in December 2017, and as soon as I got the keys and moved in, I felt like maybe it was just moving in jitters, but then I was like, something just feels odd. I'm not alone. The thing is, when I moved in, there was no floorboards. It was just floorboards. There was no flooring down. There was no carpets. There was no laminate flooring or nothing like that. The walls weren't painted. So yeah, it was a bare shell. So I thought that any kind of noise that I was hearing was probably just floorboards creaking. That's what I put it down to, which is probably what it was at the time. So yeah, I just didn't really have anything solid, but I had a feeling that something was off, and that was my gut feeling rather than of what I was hearing and stuff like that. And then come February 2018, I started to hear banging, and I noticed it was coming from the corridor, the hallway. And it was a bit alarming because it was kind of like late-ish. It was always like after 10 o'clock, definitely. The next day after I heard the banging for the first time, I went downstairs because I'm in a masonette. So I'm upstairs and there's a neighbour who lives downstairs. And I went to go and ask him if he was the one who was banging. And he was like, no, not me. Not at that time of night. So I was like, okay, I've asked. And he's quite a quiet neighbour anyway. He's not really noisy. So anyway, yeah, that was come February. I was like, right. So it's just banging. It's probably pipes. It's probably the floorboards still setting underneath. Because by that point I had all my flooring laid. I had my carpets laid in January. So banging's banging. Then March, it continued through February and it continued through March. And then in March I called my housing association people that I got my house from. And I alerted them and they just said to me, your mind's playing tricks on you, there's nothing there. I said that I felt like I had a ghost here, and they were like, whatever, basically in my face. Well, really over the phone, but they weren't very helpful at all. And then in May, for the first time, I found a jacket on the floor. So, yeah, I woke up and whatever had happened in the night, I wasn't aware, but I woke up, I went into the hallway and I found a jacket on the floor. That alarmed me because I'm not one of these half-assed people that just throws things on hooks or whatever and then eventually they fall. I mean, when I put things on properly, I put things on properly. So yeah, I lived alone and there was no one there that could have dropped coats and stuff. So as that jacket had fallen, that continued along with the banging through the months of 2018, and it was the first time with my own eyes I saw the jackets fall from the hooks. And that, not gonna lie, not knowing what it was, that scared the crap out of me. I've always been a bit of a night owl, to be honest. I've always been more happy to stay up through the night than I have in the daytime, even from when I was a child. But this particular evening, I remember it was about 11:30, and I'd gone to the kitchen, and people are going to judge me for this, but I don't care. I went to make myself a cup of coffee. I know it's 11:30, but I'm Italian, we're brought up on caffeine, and it has no effect on us whatsoever. I could drink 20 cups of coffee, I could drink 2 cups of coffee. If I'm going to be up all night, I'm going to be up all night. Makes no difference to me. So yeah, I went to go make myself a coffee in the kitchen, and as I passed through the corridor, I've seen it happen. Like, it was in my side view, and plus I heard it fall at the same time. So I was like, okay, now I'm crapping it even more than I was before. So I went to see my neighbour, and I had already mentioned to her beforehand, a couple of months in, so probably around the February time when I realised the banging was starting, I'd already gone to her and I said, listen, I'm not alone up there. I don't know what's what, but I'm definitely living with something. Not someone, something. And she was like, oh really? Okay, so when I went to go and see my neighbour downstairs, it wasn't the gentleman who lives underneath me, it was a neighbour who lives in a house. She has children. And I asked her about the banging. Now, she said from the moment that I moved in and I asked her when the banging started, she did say that there was a previous tenant who may have passed away. It didn't feel certain, but she was like, yeah, like he may have passed away. Already referencing the he, which meant he was male, I kind of already knew that it was going to be a he because I was receiving his post or his mail. But yeah, that's when I saw my neighbour, and she explained that the gentleman who lived in my place before me had passed away in the flat in the November, and all she knew was that he had passed away, or he died at the bottom of the stairs, which was right in front of my front door. He wasn't communicating as much as what he is with me now, but then, so again, like probably about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, he was coming through to me, and he was willing to show himself to me more, but gradual. I think he was trying to gain his trust in me, and to see, I mean, we lived together for 2.5 years so far, so, I mean, at this point, I think he knows the kind of person I am, but that's when he started showing himself to me. I don't know why. I'm not a professional. I won't ever claim to be a professional. I literally will just, I judge what I see with my eyes and what I hear with my ears. I'm a bit of a skeptic. I've had ghost encounters in the past. I've seen shadows. I've heard voices. And that stuff I will believe because I've seen it and heard it. But there is a lot of stuff that I hear from people and I'm like, nah, bruv. I don't, no. So I'm a bit of a skeptic myself. And there will be a lot of people that will watch this video and go, no, that's not real. And I'm with you. I'm totally with you because I was that person too. But until it started happening to me, my surrounding friends and family, from day one when I moved in and said I've got a ghost living with me, they were like, really? And I was like, really? It would be one hell of a gag to pull 2.5 years later, and for the last 2.5 years saying I live with a ghost. So I don't have time for that kind of rubbish and nonsense. I literally have time for what I've got to deal with. I ain't got time to be a prankster. But I thought I'd make this this series because it's happened to me, and because I've caught it on camera several times now, and it took me a long time to catch things on camera. I wasn't willing to even catch it on camera because I didn't feel comfortable. I was a bit nervous and a bit scared about it, but I'm loving my llama tea. Okay, so we're going to include now a short clip of what kind of activity I had there on the first clip. Also, I'm going to mention that all my footage has been recorded in advance. So these occurrences are probably now about 2 months old. only because I didn't realise I was going to do an investigation on all of this on the first clip that I got, because I didn't know there were going to be others. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And also, once I realised that he was coming through to me more, and I was getting more and more footage, then I thought, yeah, do you know what? There's a lot here now, alone, that I can make a little series about. And that's when I got even more interested in who this person was, because I decided to investigate more. So I will let you know, his name is Frank. And at this point, we have no other information. So here's the clip. So basically, he's done this before. I've got coats there, you can see the coats on the wall. And he just keeps, he's done it before, he keeps chucking them on the floor. Look, I just got goosebumps. I've never caught it on camera before. So if you want to follow any more of this investigation, then subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, which will alert you for when the next episode comes on, and like the video. And please, if you have any questions or comments that you want to make, feel free to comment. There may be things that you guys watch and think of, and I haven't either seen it clearly on the clip, or I haven't thought about it, so maybe contact certain people. If there's any websites that you guys can recommend that I could maybe look a little bit more into my investigation. I have got quite far in, so I do know quite a lot already, but you're going to learn that as this goes on. Coming up in the next video, there will be more clips, and also a little bit more of the timeline. I'm going to go through what happened from December 2018 to March 2019. And guys, don't miss it, because it is a banger. In that part of the timeline, I had somebody else who was definitely someone who saw it as well. I mean, yeah, don't miss it. Okay, so guys, enjoy, sleep well, don't let the bed bugs bite or anything bite.